Is it better to never have been born? This is not a rhetorical question. In 2006, philosopher David Benatar published a book called Better Never to Have Been. His conclusion is devastating. Coming into existence is always a serious harm. Every life, no matter how good it looks from the outside, contains more suffering than we admit. And if that is true, then bringing a child into this world is not a gift. It is an injury. Let that sink in. The most ordinary act of human life, having children, may be morally wrong. Benatar's argument rests on what he calls the asymmetry between pleasure and pain. Imagine two scenarios. In scenario 1, a person exists and experiences pain. That is bad. In scenario 2, that person never exists. The absence of that pain is good, even though there is no one there to enjoy it. Now flip it. In scenario 1, a person exists and experiences pleasure. That is good. In scenario 2, the person never exists. The absence of that pleasure is not bad, because there is no one being deprived. Do you see the asymmetry? The absence of pain is always good. The absence of pleasure is only bad if someone is there to miss it. Therefore, non-existence always wins. But Benatar goes further. He argues that humans are terrible judges of their own happiness. We have evolved psychological mechanisms that make life seem better than it is. The optimism bias makes us believe things will work out. The Pollyanna principle makes us remember good events and forget bad ones. Adaptation makes us get used to suffering, so we stop noticing it. Benatar says these are not signs that life is good. They are coping mechanisms for a life that is fundamentally difficult. We are like prisoners who have learned to love ourselves. Before Benatar, there was Arthur Schopenhauer. He argued that life is a constant cycle of striving and boredom. We want something, we suffer until we get it, we enjoy it briefly, and then we are bored and want something else. Every satisfied desire gives birth to a new one. Life, Schopenhauer said, is a business that does not cover its costs. He believed that non-existence would have been preferable, and that the only rational response to existence is compassion for all beings trapped in the same pointless cycle. He wrote these ideas in the world as will and representation. But not everyone agrees. Albert Camus rejected the conclusion that life is not worth living. He accepted that the universe is absurd, that suffering is real, and that there is no cosmic meaning. But instead of despair, he chose rebellion. In the myth of Sisyphus, Camus imagines Sisyphus pushing his boulder up a hill forever. A meaningless, repetitive task. And yet Camus concludes that we must imagine Sisyphus happy, not because his situation is good, but because he chooses to find meaning in the struggle itself. The act of living fully, despite knowing it is absurd, is an act of defiance. Then there is Friedrich Nietzsche. He took the opposite position entirely. For Nietzsche, the question was not whether life is worth living. The question was whether you can say yes to life exactly as it is, with all its suffering, and still want it again eternally. He called this the eternal return. Imagine a demon tells you that you will live your exact life, every detail, every pain, every failure, over and over forever. Would you curse the demon, or would you say yes? For Nietzsche, the person who can say yes to eternal return is the person who has truly lived. This is from his book, The Gay Science. So where does this leave us? Benatar says life is harm. Schopenhauer says life is suffering. Camus says life is absurd but worth rebelling against. Nietzsche says life is a test of whether you can love it unconditionally. Four philosophers, for radically different answers to the same question. And none of them are obviously wrong. That is the terrifying thing about this question. You cannot prove that life is worth living. You can only choose to live as though it is. Perhaps the most honest answer comes from acknowledging that no one asked to be here. We were thrown into existence without consent. Every one of us woke up one day already alive, already responsible for a life we never chose. The question is not whether it was right to bring us here. We are already here. The question is what we do with that fact. Do we curse the gift? Do we ignore the question? Or do we say yes, fully aware of the cost, and live anyway?